Hello and welcome or welcome back to your new happy place. So this is going to be a, excuse me, a mystery reading so far. All I have to go on right now is that this is a really big message. So without further ado, I have the rune here of Aiwass, which is number 13 in the runic alphabet, and it means tree. Um, Specifically the yew tree, which I like to say the YOU tree. But essentially, it's about the roots of our lives. You know, our soul, ourselves, um, and essentially where the past meets the present, and you know how we grow our tree from here. So it's really that place of where we are right now, and how we see our tree growing, and you know, really finding the value of the roots that we do have and adding value to them if we need to in order to see where we are now in a truer way so that we can grow. Um, okay. So I'm going to do archetypes last. Let's see here. We've got the Deer of Delta from White Light, and that is number 26. The Deer of Delta is all about the Delta wave, the unconscious realm, that deep sleep where anything is possible. Essentially, anything is possible in that particular wavelength. And there's one thing here I do want to read. The Deer of Delta encourages you to call for spiritual intervention with complete confidence in the grace that will instantly and consistently be bestowed. Your strength and power can flow from your spiritual connection. If you've been advised to toughen up, you are encouraged to instead remain true to yourself and find your strength within, which is very yew tree. All right. So we have number 15 with Action from Queen of the Moon Oracle. And let's see what moon that is. Waxing Gibbous 6. Action. Oops. Okay. We have the Time Master from the Mystical Shaman. Number 57. And the Time Master is all about linear time being an illusion and how time is cyclic. It moves in fractals and patterns, and it's all in the moment that you're in right now as far as the perspective of it. How you can heal the past at the same time as the present and the future. Uh, which is very wow. From the Awake Oracle, we have Embrace, which is very similar to the Deer of Delta. All right, and archetypes for the self, we have the Shadow. That explains the kind of a big message feeling that I was having. Okay. All right, so the shadow as the self. Goes into the realm of Thanatos. Death, transformation. Look at the pattern. Our perspective on death, really. Our perspective on death. Wow. Okay, and what do we have in our hand as a tool? The Bardo. The liminal space. The afterlife. Where we go to understand our perspective on death. Perception itself. Wow. And the why. The empty room. Okay. So what I'm getting here is anything is possible, literally. And this is very important. You know, the self as the shadow. Really, the shadow is any aspect that we consider unlovable for whatever reason. And just so you know, we do have agape as the underlying. Agape being that unconditional, universal God love, right? So we have the shadow as the self, that disassociated self, that part that whatever, that shadow, walking into the realm of transformation, the realm of death itself, and our perspective of that, with the malleable perspective of our own in our hand, because of the empty room, meaning the infinite perspective. And we're being asked to embrace the power that we have in that Bardo in our hand, because it is all in our perspective. Wow. Talk about a yew tree. I mean, wow. Wow. Okay, let's get some tarot out here. See if we can't lay down some particulars. I mean, it feels like a very important message. You know, the shadow is, we're rescuing ourselves. Most definitely. Embracing ourselves, let me put it that way. Embracing ourselves. I love that. Whew. It's time. It's time. Alright. Oh, I feel like I just seen one flipped over here. No? Wow, I'm almost hesitant. Like, I feel like it's like a breakthrough. That's a breakthrough for sure. Okay. Well, good. We've got the Bardo in hand. Our own beautiful, beautiful perception. Our ability. Our ability to wrap understanding around, you know, concepts that are unseen. Is so in our hands. Okay, what is the situation, Spirit? Huh. Okay, the Four of Pentacles. Our whole selves. Our whole selves. Treasuring our whole selves. You know, this Four of Pentacles, he's got a pentacle on his forehead, a pentacle on his, and you know, in front of him, a pentacle under both feet. That's his city. Like his, you know, the Four of Pentacles really represents holding your own self-worth. Stable in self. Stable in self. That seems very appropriate. What is, how is the self showing up here, Spirit? The shadow. Okay. The shadow in the realm of Thanatos. Perspective in their hand. Asserting that they're going in to actually get that perspective. Good. Good. And we are so supported while we go. We are. All right. We're going. We're here. We're here. We're here. What is the foundation? Three of Pentacles. securing that self-worth, securing that, embracing ourselves and amongst other, our own particular physical selves, our contribution to the environment we find ourselves, that's all very Three of Pentacles. And we do need to interact with others so that, we can value our, how do I want to say that? Our ego needs a point to bounce off of so that we know where we want to be more or less, or, whatever that moment is, really is where the rest of this opinion of ourselves structures from, if that made sense. Okay. Self in the past. The sun. Okay, become illuminated. Okay, self in the past. Self in the past is the sun. Okay. Let's see the surrounding environment. The Empress. Okay. Very Dear Delta, very Embrace. Very Bardo even. Agape. This is for us. For us. Can I see the self in the present, please? Five of Pentacles. Very Shadow and Thanatos. With Bardo in your hand. Perception is everything. It really is. And Four Swords on the bottom right now. Perception is everything. This particular card really does show that. Five of Pentacles. This is faith in others. Whereas you can have faith in the invisible, right? That Sixth Pentacle up there that you can't really see unless you look up, unless you look for it, right? This faith in other people, I don't know if this is, they're outside in the cold, not looking at each other. One's walking with a crutch because he depended on, another physical human being to heal them. There's so many examples on this particular card why faith in other people is not where your faith goes. And that we are always supported by the all. We are never alone. We are never alone. And the only time, this particular aspect plays out is when we call ourselves alone. Like that little bit that I read about the Deer of Delta. Like, trust in your spiritual connection, because that is true power. The whole point here is that, these physical bodies don't ride around on like no animation. Our soul is here. Our spirit is here. There is nothing that we need to hide, ever. The aspect of shadow to me is just so human, unnecessary roughness. If we do ourselves a disservice, is all I'm saying. And the moment we're in, the moment that you feel like you need to hide something is that moment where it's time to literally embrace it, because it is you. And if you don't like what it is, that's the time to embrace it truly, because you don't want that growing, right? You don't want that particular branch to grow if that's what you don't want, but that's not a shadow going forward. That's a, hey, I don't like it when I, bite my nails or whatever. Okay. I need to get out of that energy because it doesn't feel good. Self in the, the Four of Pentacles. How does this play out, please? And again, this was a bit of a mystery message, so I don't know where it's going. How does the Four of Pentacles as the situation play out, Spirit? What is it that we are bridging? Where are we going? Anything is possible, right? Age of Pentacles, okay. Self-worth, full worth, full value in self. Full value in self. Because you are protected, because you are embraced, because you are connected, because you are whole, because it is yours. Let's see the self in the future. Check out. Self in the future, please. And this empty room is very much like the Hermit. Self in the future. Aware of your limits? Of limiting yourself. Wow. Hang on. Let me look at this for a second. You know, the Time Master is all about it being in our hand in the moment that we're in. Action. You know, an action here is number 15. And that is full embodiment of self, that particular action. And you know, it's always the Devil card, really. You're only as limited as you call yourself, really. And that's with the shadow. If you're calling yourself, you know, having a shadow, then you're calling yourself having an aspect of some limit somewhere that you put on yourself. You know, because really the Devil card here, it represents limitations or attachments that pertain to the other, okay, as far as other people, or us not having the full spiritual connection, protection, and all of those things that this card implies. You know, we are just as protected as we say we are. And unfortunately, fortunately, that is in our hands. You know, we're fully protected all day long until we say we aren't. You know, and that is the truth. This is all in your hands, all in our hands, all in our hands. Let me see the catalyst here. What's the catalyst? Ha, exactly. The High Priest. High Priestess, I'm sorry. Let me take a sip. Thanatos and the Bardo. Not to be mistaken as the Shadow. Hmm. Hmm. What's the cost here, please? With the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. This is definitely in our hands. And it's definitely time. And the High Priestess is here. Ace of Swords on the bottom right. The High Priestess is here for us to be aware. Remember this reading is for, you know, all of you. This shadow aspect is so ours. It's personal. It is in, you know, the only one that can rescue us from our own perception of whatever the shadow is is us, right? Going into the realm of transformation. You see, this spider web pattern was built by you, each one of us on our own built our own perception of whatever Thanatos is. Okay, whatever that realm of death looks like, we built it ourselves. Okay, with whatever other perspectives we allowed in, as well as whatever we added to it, right? So now the shadow is this one little piece of the puzzle. It's built into this whole big spider web. And we have the bardo in our hand, which is basically the soup of imagination, to where we can create all kinds of understanding, speak to people that we haven't seen in 40 years, and tell them that, we're sorry or whatever, and they tell us that they forgive us. That is the soup of beautiful that is in our hand. That is where the stuff of the Time Master works. So it's all about going into that realm of transformation with your ability to soften whatever it is that you're thinking is a shadow aspect, to soften it then and there, because then you just changed your past, your present, and your future in regards to that particular aspect that used to be shadow, if that makes sense. And that particular branch or that particular root is healthy now. And it really is just in that moment, that ideal of yourself, whatever that little bit of shadow was, soothed, because of your ability to add some perception to it. A little bit of that unseen spiritual connection awesomeness that has to be done by you, in your hands, in that liminal space, in your imagination, of changing your perspective about whatever this shadow aspect is. Because that empty room is yours. What is the cross of your spirit? Ace of Swords. Whoa. Okay. Alright. We have Three of Swords as the cross, which makes so much sense. Because this is the shadow. This alienation of swords. This is self-doubt. This is the perception of other people's opinion of us. This is what we alienate from ourselves, disassociate from ourselves. We call good, not good enough. Those swords that don't feel good. Those disconnection swords. Those separations from spirit. Logic. Linear time. We do this to ourselves. We do. And I mean that with most love. We do this, and I know this. We're all growing all the time. I learned this. We are all becoming aware of all of this all the time. But the good news is this is your hopes. 10 of Cups. As it should be. And it's true, and it can be. Absolutely. That's just the state that says this is all in my hands. What shadow? All of me is awesome. Right? Perspective. It's just a matter of perspective. I promise you it's a matter of perspective. What is the fear here, please? Explaining it to others. Being judged. Conflict. Having to... yeah. Perspective is everything. And you are so lovingly being asked to embrace yourself. This is so interesting because the Five of Swords, he has 3 swords all on his own. The other 2 swords are laying on the ground. It's up to him what he does with these swords. He can leave this as a 3 of Swords, right? Hurting. Or He can use this heart that's all over his shirt and his red extremities to soothe himself and say that just because they don't agree or what have you doesn't mean that I'm not still standing exactly where I'm supposed to be standing with the opinion that that I'm fine. This is, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. Ever. Ever. You are 100% whole. All on your own. All on your own. And with the sun as the past, you have known this. Something made you feel alone, disconnected. But you do have the high priestess as the flow here and as the catalyst. So you are fixing to feel the difference. You are either fixing to feel and understand that bardo is in your hand in the moment that you're in, because something is going to something is going to be shown to you as yours to embrace. Okay? And it definitely behooves you to embrace it and know that this moment right now is going to change everything. I hope that made sense. How does the Five of Swords progress, please? Evolve. Thank you. The Two of Swords. Good. Okay. Neutral. Observer. That fertile ground where anything is possible. This is not a shadow. This is not Thanatos. This is the Bardo. This is the empty room. This is the Deer of Delta, the Time Master. Neutral. This is the High Priestess. Like, there's no sword for the other. There's no Three of Swords here. Okay, this is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is basically the truth and her intuition. And she knows that her little yellow shoes there are going to be what changes the moment. Her opinion, her willpower is the only thing that's going to change this neutral space. Whether she calls it shadow or light, if that makes sense. It's in your hand. It's in your perspective. This is your empty room. You can fill it with whatever you want. Shine a light up in there. What's the advice, please? Shine a light up in there. The Hangman. Embrace that Time Master. Embrace the Bardo. Embrace the empty room as yours. Embrace this all as yours. And as being very, very, very protected in the moment that you're in, because you're here for a reason. And it's certainly not to think that any part of you is shadow. Not at all. Okay, the outcome. Outcome. And the Hangman is all about enlightenment. All about enlightenment. And there we go. Justice is the outcome. Good. Good. Balance. Balance. The universal truth that you are loved, that you are whole, that you are 100% exactly who you need to be in the moment that you're in. And when you call yourself less than, that is the shadow. That is when you take away your own power. But you can have it right back. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you call it back, it's back. As soon as you say, oh, psh, silly me. I'm perfect just the way I am. It's very malleable, your yew tree. It can change in the moment, every moment that you're in. But it's also balanced and forgiving, and, life grows on death, and, everything. The cycle of life is here. Very much so. You have the yew tree, you have Thanatos, you have the Bardo. We have the Deer of Delta. What do we have on the world? The world being yours. The Two of Wands. The world is in your hands. The Bardo. He has the Bardo in his hands. And his perspective. Time Master. Okay. Bear with me here. Because we have, this is big. This is big. And I mean, my heart is so right here for this shadow. And this aspect of this is, you are so lovingly being offered, this look at how to really soothe yourself going forward. That I want to get one for each of these here. In the center, if I can, please. The self in the past, please, as the sun. As the sun. Okay, the Page of Pentacles. Okay. Knowing your value. Okay, good, good. And we have the Page of Pentacles is how you felt in the past about your own self-worth, your own value to this life does return. And this looks like a very human experience in order to get to this place. It really does. It really, really does. Okay, can I have one for the High Priestess, please? Strength. Strength. That inner strength. That feeling of Delta. That absolute, the Time Master. That is your strength. You got that flow all day, every day within you. Let it be the truth. Let it be the truth. Queen of Wands. That's going to be for the devil. For the self in the future. And again, that's knowing that your life is in your hands. And owning every minute of it. And the shadow, that's funny. Does this Queen of Wands have her cat? Hang on. She does. Okay. See the Queen of Wands, her little cat right there? That's her shadow. Look how much fun she's having being herself. Glorious. Shadow right in front of her. Like, what shadow? That's my cat. Thank you. That made it a little bit more lighthearted, okay? Your shadow is what you call it. Like, shadow is such a strange word. It really, really is. Okay, I'm trying to get one for the Hangman now. Okay, the Hangman came out as the Three of Pentacles. You are exactly who you're supposed to be. Personal best. Personal best. And you know what? The moment that you're in, you have every single thing you need to work with. Manifest and excellence. Okay, and one for justice, please. For the outcome. The Six of Cups. Very, all of that. Healing your own perception of who you are. All the memories and all of the awesome that you have up until now. That yew tree has all had value. And it's all in your hands now to how you want to, look at that going forward. Let it be a strength. Let it be a strength. They say that, most of the time the thing that we hide is the thing that's special about us or whatever. I don't really know what that saying would be, but, there's truth in that. The thing that we hide away, how is that? What once what once seemed strange will be your, I can't remember what it is, but essentially it's that thing that you hide is going to be your most valuable treasure, like your most valuable characteristic. Hmm. Wow. This is really deep, and I almost want more. Can I have one more for advice, please? With this Bardo in hand, this open-ended Three of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Own it. Just own it. You are the Time Master. Embrace yourself. Take action on just eradicating any thought within yourself that is not for you. Like, you limit your own self. Don't allow that. Don't allow that. Don't allow that. Okay, so we have the Ten of Cups on the bottom, which is absolutely in hand. Hang on, I want to read this little bit for you. Okay, perfect. So this is the Time Master, and I think that this is maybe what seems to be needed. Okay, so let me go ahead and read this, and then I'll let you know. Okay, so time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line from past to future. This, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel, and others moving straight as an arrow. Humans see time like a ticking clock, and this image reminds us that there is only so much of it to spend in a life, like a kind of currency. At any given moment, you can see time in all of its infinite potential, at once vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends on perspective. When the Time Master visits you, he asks a most important question. Will you break free from limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond the linear illusion and welcoming the cyclic quality of time? You find yourself in a moment when the wheel of time turns and you're able to influence the past, thus changing the present and future simultaneously. This is the true test of the Time Master. You're being invited to take back your power, so let go of the past and choose to step into your life. In this moment, you are all powerful. You are the Time Master. Anything is possible now. Well, there you go. I should have just read that from the beginning. The Time Master. That's you. Anything is possible. You have the Bardo in your hand. I love that. I'm so glad. I want to say thank you very much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't up until now. I do appreciate the support. And until next time, thank you so much. Peace.